Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to say much else. I don't want to say much else. Oh, let's play this. This looks fucking cool. See that peanut? See? See? That's too funny. Yeah, there's a lot. That game has some emotions. always trust somebody to come up with an ad quote. Man, this game is taking a minute. Mm. All right. In this demo, you can play the Pilgrims of the Wasteland standalone story up until the 4th checkpoint, and also get a taste of the open world main campaign. Create your own Vagrus and play the first 25 turns. Vagrus is a labor of love created by a tiny team that dared to dream big with the support of an amazing little community. We're extremely grateful to all those who have helped us along the way with constructive criticism. Vagrus is also a game that involves a fair amount of reading if it is to be enjoyed and intended by the developers. It's also a game where success is by no means guaranteed. You will probably lose everything several times before getting the hang of leading your traveling company. Please note that although a large chunk of the continent is accessible in the full game, the majority of Zarin that you can see on the chart is merely part of the world building. Nice. How is someone supposed to explain that? Oh boy, Vagrus is a lot. I wonder if the full game is out yet. I don't know. The amount of times I quote people out of nowhere, of course, that power is turned back on me. Yes. All right. Comitatus. Yeah, Comitatus, an armed traveling company, usually carries cargo and passengers along the wastelands of the continent. It can get involved in a variety of jobs ranging from trading to mercenary work. Vagrus, plural Vagri, a venturer, a vagabond, a kept up. I was almost done.
The Riven Realms, they call it.
Gameplay style I wanted wasn't fully supported last time I played.
Rotten and twisted as our land has become.
There was a technical end. Well, that was the developer logo, so.
The old empire, the noblest and most enduring society created by humankind, spanned almost the entire continent of Zarin, the cradle of man. But after several millennia of progress
there's a man.
And incomparable achievements, inevitably, the empire began to fall into stagnation and decadence. Desperately holding on to their privileges and resisting change while trying to avert the collapse
Sparkle,
of the
hello.
realm, the emperor and his theocracy took to measures that were worthy of true despots in cruelty.
Oh, you're telling me the men in power did bad things to stay in power?
Enslaving
wild
nations, strip mining foreign
Grandpa Cowboy,
oppressing imperial citizens, war on several fronts.
Did I accidentally pick another game about Roman shits?
Eventually, the gods could no longer tolerate such horrors.
Did I actually accidentally pick another game about shitty Romans?
They descended upon the empire to right its
wrongs. Fuck.
Thus, in a chain of dreadful events that became known as the Calamity.
Get fucked, Rome.
The empire in a matter of days.
Yeah, this seems historically accurate. Yeah, basically, this is basically what happened.
Then finally saw what they had done in their anger and confusion. It is said that so much grief and shame filled them that they were broken, and they left this reality, never to return.
Man, so the Romans just fucked up all kinds of stuff.
Dead, but at length survivors began to crawl out of their hiding holes and faced a land that no longer welcomed them. Arcane anomalies, the fallout of the calamity, now riddled the continent, and people realized.
Oh, so this is medieval Roman stalker. Got it.
And twisted creatures.
Medieval Roman stalker. Got it.
Terrible beings entered through the cracks in the tapestry.
I'm doing some off-stream grinding. That sounds nice. I actually played some Fire Emblem yesterday.
In time,
Who are these guys? Whoa!
empire in their own image, and the River Realms, now godless and vengeful, reincarnated from the ashes.
Say hi to the new boss, same as the old boss.
Now eke out a living under the crushing rule of the new empire. The continent itself constantly resists our every attempt at building a cozy home for ourselves. As travel is dangerous, many ventures specialize in transferring cargo and passengers over bleak and deadly leagues of land.
The Death Stranding.
Anything of value from said travelers, or attempt to find buried treasures.
That guy looks cool.
Of the old empire. The leaders of the endeavors are, some say, the bravest men and women of the River Realms. Such a leader is called a Vagrus.
Oh, okay, so it's a long A. It's a Vagrus, not a Vagrus. The birds and bees of the Okay, the demo of Vagrus has two parts. The first section of the standalone story, Pilgrims of the Wasteland, which is much more narrative heavy and serves as a tutorial. Start a new game and listen to Agos' story. A taste of the open world main campaign with character creation and the first 25 turns of play. Start a new game and skip Agos' story. Well, we're gonna check our thing here. Oh yeah, font size. Let's turn that bad boy up. Let's see here. VSync. Yep, love it. Love VSync. Love VSync. We have Wasteland mode and Dissonance mode. The way Vagrus was intended to be played by the developers, the setting is a cruel, harsh, unforgiving place, so the game will not pull any punches. Expect a steep difficulty curve with little no hand holding. Save often because you will probably run into dead ends and deaths from time to time. Or Dissonance mode. The game mode is tailored more towards a narrative experience, combat management, and almost all other aspects of gameplay are less challenging. The result is a smoother difficulty at the cost of alignment with the setting, causing a certain dissonance. Achievements are turned off in this mode. Hey! Hi, Vagrus game developers, just in case you're seeing this. Number one, thank you for providing two difficulty modes, one more focused on difficulty and one more focused on a narrative experience. Some quick feedback on these choices. One, don't say this is the way the game was intended to be played. That makes me feel bad about choosing the other mode. That's not as hard. That feels like you're telling me this is the real gamer mode, and if you don't pick this, you're a baby. Enjoy your baby mode. So that's cool. Number two, turn your achievements off in dissonance mode. Sucks. That sucks. Thanks for giving me an easy mode, but then not letting me do anything. So cool. Thanks for that. Feedback over. I'm gonna play Wasteland mode because if this is the way the game is intended to be played, then this is the way I'm going to find out if this is a game I intend to play. That's the easy way to determine that.
Ah, yes, a Vagrus. What a profession.
I love that there's voice acting, I will say.
Savvy, always watching the horizon, always looking for an opportunity, and of course, for what is best for his comitatus, eh?
Comitatus.
You're a Vagrus too.
I love to go to Taco Bell and get a nice comitatus.
Have I seen in my
Little
long
salsa.
life as a vagabond? Care to listen to a story about your exquisite occupation, good master? It is a tale of woe and terror, but it is also a tale that is true, as I have seen it with mine own eyes.
All right, so yeah, so we'll do Pilgrims of the Wasteland. We'll see how it goes.
Wise you are, good master. My tale is of a Vagrus, such as yourself, but one whose fate was cursed and wrought with ill fortune.
I'm excited.
It all happened a long 10 years, maybe more. I was but a passenger, traveling rough roads and forgotten ways with this comitatus, south along the feet of the great mountains of the west.
I really like that word, comitatus.
This comitatus I speak of had fallen under hard times. Perhaps it was
The reading voice is very quiet.
Or unfortunate decisions, or simply bad luck. Irafrons, saint of roads, does not always smile on us mere mortals. But however it came to pass, their
how's that?
drying up, and their opportunities seemed few and far between. One of the last chances their Vagrus saw was to travel to the remote town of Scrap Heap and spend their remaining funds to stock up on cheap scrap metal. This metal could be sold for great profit over in the east and south. It wasn't a bad plan, truly, but it was not without risks either.
Okay. Welcome to the Vagrus demo. Yep, this is also tutorial. The thing icon being clicked in the tutorial window to show what the section is referring to. Note that you have to be on the right UI screen for the pointer to appear. You can access the hotkey list by pressing F11. Okay. This game seems like a lot. On the campaign map, your comitatus always occupies a node and moves between nodes towards paths. Moving along paths costs movement points, indicated next to each path. Every in-game day, you have a number of movement points to spend before you need to camp. To move, click on a nearby node and select move. You can select a node that's farther away. The MP cost of moving there will be calculated. Okay. Move to scrap heap. How many movement is this? Is it this? 9. Okay, cool. Go. What? Okay. Okay, so I hit a node and a node is an event. Got it. Okay. Most of the story is presented through interactive events text called events. Events let you make different choices at each setup. Some choices have a number of consequences, while others have various dependencies. Dependencies mean you can only pick a certain choice if you write prerequisites. Okay, cool. Select a choice, click on it, use 1 and 9 to select the one you like. Having gone ahead of the column with a handful of scouts, you watch from afar as your comitatus slowly trudges along broken terrain, making its way south ponderously toward among dormant geysers. All around you, the hills smolder lazily in the perpetual twilight. Are you all right? Javik's voice resonates with sympathy as he appears next to you on the ridge. You nod slowly, but do not look at him, your gaze lost in the distance where ash cloaks the horizon and the towering mountains to the south and west. You turn to your Comes and note his supportive smile. I guess that's a singular comitatus. You and Javik have been traveling the realms together for years now. There's no person in the world you trust more than him, except perhaps yourself. Know that you feel that your hands are tied, but like I said before, you made the right choice by leading us here. Do I get more information if I... Nope. Okay, so this is just a narrative choice. Time will tell. I still have my doubts. It's a long shot, and you know it. Javik nods. True, but it's better than just giving up. The crew agrees too. This counts for something, no? It does, yes. Good to know they still have faith in me as their Vagrus. They do have faith in you still, Javik says. Should not come as a surprise since you have known and traveled with most of them for years and years. Some founding members of the comitatus you could trust with your life. You heard stories before about Vagri who have been abandoned for less. Things being what they are, Javik trails off. With Imperials cracking down on us independents more heavily than before, business is tough and everyone knows. And they appreciate your efforts to keep us floating. Brian, does the game sound all right now? Our plan ought to give us another chance. When text in an event is highlighted pale blue, it means you found a codex entry. Clicking these opens the codex and navigates you to the entry. Oh, buddy. The fact that there's a codex. Woo! The plan. You talked your traveling company into this a few weeks ago, but with each step towards the western mountains, more and more of them have started to have doubts, such as the way of the road, perhaps. The plan involves a desperate attempt at squeezing a low selling price for metal bits out of an old contact of yours in the town of Scrap Heap. Buddy. You can search entries, filter them, unread entries. Okay. Okay. Listen, I'm not mad at the game for having a codex. I'm happy that the game has a codex. It's just... Oof. Okay. I do like there's a search function. That's fun. Okay, stocking up on said metal by spending your remaining coin, bringing the cargo down south, or along a molten tongue to Devon via a Verdum and Ash. There's a shortage of metal in Deven. Several buyers will pay a pretty price for your goods if you can only make it there before too many others with similar cargo do. Such contacts are the boon of long decades spent on the road. Even if Narbo, that villain, gave you an agreeable price in scrap heap, the road is not without its perils. Singing through the gap between the dead forest and the molten tongue is inviting disaster, so it's not a path many Vagri would risk. And of course, if this fails, you're out of alternatives. Do you think Narbo will help us? The old scavenger was never famous for his goodwill, Javik wonders. He has to help us out. He wouldn't be able to pass up the opportunity to make us indebted to him. Even the thought of selling yourself out in such a way makes you feel dirty. These are dark times. They call for desperate deeds, but such thoughts make me uncomfortable, to be honest. Javik rubs his chin absent-mindedly. You've seen this expression of us too often not to realize he's using his sorceress talent to read your mind. Well, don't do that. That's rude. Taking a peek. Apologies. Javik rubs his eyes quickly and looks away. You know how it is. It comes to me so naturally, sometimes I don't notice I'm doing it. Your thoughts are loud, Vagrus. I have to actually block them, you see. At work, I hear you reading it fine. I don't hear any game stuff at the moment. Yeah, there's no sound right now. So you probably missed the last time there was VO. After joining your Comitatus 6 years ago, Javik proved to be an invaluable asset. Not only does he sense moods and thoughts around him, but he's also able to subtly manipulate others when he focuses his inner energies. It comes in handy when doing business. Then there are his other perks. A few times you saw him shatter the minds of men and beasts who tried to kill him. Not a pretty sight, but effective deterrence. Yet, because he is not a trained sorcerer, at least not in the traditional sense, his abilities are somewhat difficult to control. You become accustomed to his impromptu thought scan, while others find it less bearable to be around him. For this reason, you kept his abilities a secret for many years overall, but you can't keep a secret such as this for long in the close-knit community of a Comitatus. Especially not if you keep bursting minds and knowing things you shouldn't. So there are only a handful of your Comes who put up with being near him for any length of time. But even so, he has not probed your mind in years, certainly not on purpose, but neither by accident. Perhaps he is less in control now, which suggests he's more on edge about this whole trip than he lets on. Apologies accepted. You managed a faint smile. Let us return to the others and push on. There's still a day's travel ahead of us. Both of you head west to join the column. You head back to the Comitatus.
As we were coming up to the gates of Scrap Heap, this trash pile town of cutthroats.
This is a lot of dialogue. This is a lot of dialogue.
Ranges of shattered Bivandar Thar looming ominously over the horizon, half shrouded in the gaseous vapors belched forth by the volcanoes in the far west. My companions prepared to do their business in town as fast as they could, not wishing to tarry in this notorious place.
Scrap Heap. When a Comitatus enters a settlement, you can select from a variety of options, each on its separate pane, revolving around resting, resupplying, and trading. You also have the opportunity to initiate stories located in the settlement. This time, only the story pane is active. Follow the only available story. Listen, you don't get to do anything, just do the thing. At the foot of the ever-fuming mountains of the ancient dwarven kingdom lies Scrap Heap, the town of scavengers. Debris and junk is piled into venerable hills, upon which the rickety homes of the decrepit inhabitants stand precariously. Ash lingers everywhere, and the sun is almost always absent from the twilight skies. Deals are struck day and night over the precious metals, scraps gathered in the ruins of nearby Devendar Thal, while the Heap King oversees all from his dreaded tower. The Heap King! The Heap King! Just love that. Track down Norbu. Can he be convinced to help you out? Oh gosh. You make your way to the Wraith's stash, a notorious watering hole tucked away in a small street just beneath the imposing tower of the Heap King, but not quite under its immense shadow. Few frequent the establishment, which makes it perfect for Nobu and his little operation of honest merchants. Apparently, the knave is not only alive, but has done well for himself in the past decade or so. Taking only Javik, you leave the Comitatus to the care of Titus, your quartermaster, while you've gone negotiating. Excuse me. Ash is fleeting from the black sky as you cross the street and nod to the bouncer of the Wraith stash. You give him your sidearms quietly. Rules are rules, at least as long as they can enforce them. Yet they have the courtesy of allowing you to keep your dagger. And of course, they have no idea what Javik is capable of, should it come to a scuffle. Not that you expect such a thing, but with Norbu, one never knows. You have told your crew that he and you go way back. The entrepreneur is a capricious and manipulative man with whom you do not part on the best of terms. Does he remember that? Surely. Can he be persuaded to take your proposal? Who knows? Your eyes slowly adjust to the dimness of the tavern's interior. Only a few candles and a lamp at the bar illuminate the common room. Shadowy faces turn towards you and observe you through the smoke. The bartender, a thick-set man in a dirty tunic, is chewing tobacco serenely. Above the bar hangs a skeleton of a large heap lizard on display. Norbu is sitting at a table in the back, his bodyguard half hidden in the darkness at the wall behind him. We're just, we're gonna get a table. We're gonna get a table. You sit down with Javik, take a peek at Norbu now and again. After ordering a mug of bitter ale called Ash Tongue for yourself and a coffee for Javik, your companion leans closer. Friend Norbu seems to be having some trouble with a package. In his mind is the source of constant frustration in connection with the Heap King. You nod to Javik. His ability to read surface thoughts has proven to be invaluable on many occasions. Perhaps this is the edge you need. You notice how the sleazy merchant has stopped filling with his calculus and is now looking at some papers listlessly. It is time. Great. Glad that I was like, let's hang out for a minute, and that gave me an advantage. The arbitrator looks up from a stack of papers in front of him and rubs his eyes. Norbo is a corpulent man with a bushy, dark beard and a few missing teeth. Part of his face is covered in scars similar to those left by old burns. That, coupled with the withered and mutated left arm that hangs limply at his side, is a clear indication of the taint. The merchant wears a leather jerkin studded with small bronze and bone coins, a sign of wealth and boldness. His bodyguard, a lithe man with tribal tattoos and an outfit made of leather, moves his hand calmly to a spear that leans against the wall. Narbo's mouth falls open as the spark of recognition flares up in his eyes. No wonder, it has been 10 years. The fuck, mate? He blinks. I'm not going to do that voice all the time. I thought you croaked. Norbu waves his good hand around and looks at his bodyguard. Told tales of your demise. The man finishes his sentence for him as the merchant nods vehemently. That business with Kernak outpost in the storm. You tell him you were indeed at Kernak when the terrible arcane storm struck. You describe the horrors of that night briefly. You add how many of your original comitatus died there, close friends, old traveling companions, but you walked away unscathed. This was years ago. Sheesh! That old fucker Irafons looked after you something fierce, eh? Norbu chuckles heartily, but I'm sure you haven't come to reminisce about good old times. Is there music at all? No, there's just nothing. That's strange. Some music would do well. Hi, sir. But I'm sure you haven't come to reminisce about good old times, eh? His predatory smile makes you cautious, even though he invites you to sit down with a casual wave of his meaty hand. Apologize to him for the unfortunate way you... Yeah, apologize to him for the unfortunate way you parted 10 years ago. As far as I can tell, you never did nothing against me, eh? Norbu shrugs with a wry smile. Of course, you could have sent someone to warn us. The bodyguard finishes the sentence. Back when Norbu and you parted ways, Avernum's Collegium was hot on your trails. They got offended by how you two outplayed them by smuggling a shipment of exotic spices without their knowledge and selling it to a local nobleman's merchant house. You look at Norbu, tell him there was no way of warning him or even knowing where he was after the chaos was unleashed following the heist in Avernum. You had to get your crew out of there, so you did. The merchant's fiddling thoughtfully with a stack of papers while listening to you. I appreciate you coming clean, even this sorry business was so many years ago, he says after a long pause. The bodyguard becomes visibly less tense, but something tells me you ain't come for it. That ain't what you come for still, so what is it? This is so much text, it feels like you're just reading us a book. I'm definitely going to see this scene out, and then I think that's gonna... I want to see what the game looks like what the map looks like. That's kind of what I'm hoping to get to, and we might skip through some stuff. But I want to see how these scenes play out. Time to outline your proposition. The map is hexagons. That's nice. Okay, so several choices have dependencies, meaning you can only pick a choice, right? Some choices involve tests that can be failed or succeeded with different consequences. Perks, characters, resources change the chance of success. Difficulty is represented by a number between 1 and 100 that you need to roll equal to or below. Okay, so wow. So this is hilariously very similar to some of the systems in Sacred Fire. You explain to Norbu how you want him to give you a discount on the shipment of metal scraps, which you would then smuggle into Devon through contacts you have in the underworld. The profit on the shipment would be quite exquisite. You do not name your contact, but divulge enough of her that the plan looks solid. Buyers, you say, are lining up, expecting the shipment soon. Norbu sits in silent, eyes fixed on the table as if listening to some noise from afar. He does not cut you off at any time. At length, after you are done, he looks up and gives you a weak smile. That sounds like you've been thinking a long time about it, he says. It's a good plan, except for the part where I give you a discount for you asking and not much else. And I don't do that, mate. That would make me, an almoner? The bodyguard adds discreetly. That a word? Norbu looks up at him. When the man nods, he turns back to you. An almoner. See, I'm no almoner. You know what you gotta do better than that. Okay. So, What's that? Norbu's secret value must exceed the acquired. What is that? I'm guessing. Oh, I'm guessing that's a. Oh, I have this one unlocked because I got the thing from Javik. So let's pick that. Defo. Okay, but it looks okay. So I can spend resources to increase a chance of success. And I'm getting bonuses to this because I have persuasion and charismatic. And then if I had the enhanced leadership perk, I could do something. But because I have the thing from Javik, let's pick that. Norbu's jaw drops and you insinuate you know about its little problem. Fuck me, mate, you're better connected than I thought. Or you have something up your sleeve. The merchant says as he eyes Javik suspiciously. For a while he's quiet, then looks up and narrows his eyes. Tell you what, I think we can help each other. You're headed to Devon by way of Avernum, eh? When you nod, Norbu leans closer, signals bodyguard. The man with the dreadlocks steps closer, carefully produces a small packet from beneath his leather jerkin, puts it into the merchant's palm. This here little fella's mighty important to me, see? If you take this out of the city and deliver it to my associate in Avernum, we're even. You get your discount scrap. Merchant offers you the package. Javik draws in a breath, but before he can speak, Norbu interrupts him. And before Pretty Boy here asks, no, I won't tell you what's in it, and don't even think about opening the package. What I can say is it ain't dangerous to you itself, but you might want to keep it hidden from that damn militia of good old crap heap. Yeah, you take the package, the way he clears it, you makes it clear you have no other choice. This might be the opportunity you'd hope for. Yeah, listen, I got what I wanted, right? I got what I wanted. The package is small enough to fit in your palm. Feels very light and is wrapped in fine leather. You pocket it after briefly observing it. You'll be looking for a man called Skornar in Avernum. He ain't to be traveled with either. Just let him know I sent you. You'll be fine. You can find him or his men in Lavrus's watering hole most of the time. Give this little fella to him and him only. After you assure him you do, Norman instructs you to give him an hour. Look for his people at the market. Simply introduce yourself. They'll know what price they should give you on the metal scraps by then. He motions to his man. You and Javik stand up. River here will take you to the back exit. We don't want to give people the idea they can come here begging for almonds now, do we? Or anyone to connect us and run for the militia for that matter. You got what you came for, so you leave and head back to the Comitatus. Great. Breaking too much of a good thing news. Seen an interview with Naika Yoshida. Says in February, the detailed future content for Endwalker. Square will show a preview of patch 1.5. Included in his interviews, Yoshida saying he intends to work on 14 for another 10 years. Sure, why not? Honestly, you got what you came for. Achievement unlocked. The package. Great. Your journal's now active. Means I can follow stories and tasks. Wait, can I click on these things? Oh, that's the codex. Okay. So I got my journal. Ooh. It allows you to view your quests, tasks, and other related information. You can search for entries and filter them. Entries are separated into objectives and qualities in their respective panes. Objectives are your quests and ongoing stories. Tasks are non-narrative missions and goals you can complete for rewards. Passengers can be taken to their destination. Will compensate you for your trouble. Qualities are statuses, gathered information, secrets, and so on. Okay, cool. It's very weird that there is no music or anything during this. That's very strange to me. Whoa. Oh. This is so much. Oh my god. My weird lizard thing has slots. Oh man, so this is like a woof. Woof. Okay. Purchase 24 scrap metal and additional supplies to have at least 800 units. Okay, so buy all your scrap metal and enough supplies to have 800 units. So that's 500, 600, 700. So what did it say? Shift. Boom. Equipment you can attach to the Comitatus is sold in some markets or found. They provide bonuses and upgrades between the markets. Goods and equipment by using the buttons over the list of items. Boom, equipment. Purchase the awnings. Awnings, 20% consumption worker, 10% consumption slave. Requires at least one beast of burden, and it's a harness. And then I have to put it on it. Great. Items, the third type of cargo. Do not take up cargo space not equipable used to trade certain events. You can switch pains. Comitatus management. Hang on. Oh, item. Oh, these things here. These things here. Okay, so okay, these are the things I have. I can't buy any here. Got it. Okay. Yeah, let's spend the night. We do inspection. Great. No problem. Cool. Comitatus is well on its way. Scrappy Zmir, dot in the horizon. You made the right choice with this venture. Of course, we do have to make it alive to Devon with the cargo, but that's a good start. Agreed. There might be hope left in the Comitatus after all, and you know that is in large part thanks to you and your abilities, not mine. Javik smiles as he bows his head and thanks. Not that I fully agree, but it's my pleasure to be of use. Of course, the journey will be fine. It's not like we started this business yesterday. With that, you both go back to your duties in the constant monitoring the horizon. I got some morale. Great. Progress is saved at checkpoints, or you can save manually. Whenever you leave a settlement, reach a checkpoint, you can save. Good. I love to save manually. All right, I'm gonna save. Yeah, save. Manual saving is unavailable. Well, all right.
The full cargo hold and filled with newfound hope. Yet the road ahead still promised hardships and peril. I traveled with them southwards, expecting to reach more habitable lands beyond the Molten Tongues river of lava.
Okay, so I've got 9 spaces, so I can go there. Traveling today. The crew management UI is now active. Click on the sheet. Wow. Yo, Mystic, what's going on? Morale is a general mood of your comitatus. Obedience is how satisfied your slaves are. Gross. Nutrition, so is how well fed your crew is. Vigor, it's how tired the comitatus are. Okay. So we've got Outriders, Beasts of Burden. Upkeep is how much you pay your crew. This is a lot. This is more than I thought this game was going to be. But Mystic, how are you doing today? Okay, upkeep is how much you pay. Consumption is how much food they eat. Workforce is how much work your workers and scouts and slaves generate. And passengers are people your comitatus takes to their destination for rewards. They also consume supplies. Got it. Oh, you can free slaves. Liberate one or more of your slaves to gain obedience. Liberated slaves become workers. Note that obedience gain has a diminishing return. What's the difference between a slave and a worker? Outriders are special because you need a fighter and a mount to be able to create an outrider. Outriders are excellent fighters. Mounts with outriders carry cargo. Oh. Okay. More pay and some stat stuff. Oh, okay. So it's another economic little bitty. Been sick, barely doing anything. Thinking about Shiny Hunter Regigigas. I really want to shiny legendary hunts in the first playthrough. Do legendary hunts second playthrough. Finally becomes compatible. That sounds good. That sounds like a good idea overall. All right. Well, goodness gracious. I wanna get to like. I feel like we're gonna hit an event here. Oh wow. Jesus. The end of each game day, the comitatus makes camp, settles down for the night. Supplies are consumed, movement points are refreshed. This is like playing the most complicated game of 4th edition I've ever played. At each camp, you can decide to offer normal or double wages for the current day, independent of whether you pay them or not. Double payment increases morale. You also choose to pay all your debts to your crew at this time or accrue payments, but the longer you delay, the grumpier the crew gets. Obedience and nutrition will often appear here, as well as the options to discipline or liberate slaves. Workforce shows how much workforce generated by workers and slaves you need to maintain the comitatus. Going below the required bestows serious penalties. Good to know. Is there any word on home compatibility with BDSP? Not as of yet. A lot of people are figuring it will be around Pokemon Day, just based on what's going on, but I have not heard anything yet. You have the option to give out less or more supplies under rations, penalize or boost vigor and morale respectively. Starving your crew will have long-term effects on nutrition. Sure. All the lack icons allow you to save the current setting of the UI element, so it remains the same for the next game. Oh, I like that I can like click it and be like, what are you talking about? And it's like that. Okay. Oh God. Under hunting and foraging, you can send your crew out to the wasteland to find supplies and sometimes even goods. Base chances for these depend on your perks, deputies, crew, and the region you're in. Hunting uses scouts, has a chance to get you a large number of supplies. Critical failure might kill scouts. Foraging is more reliable, yields for supplies. You can use workers and slaves. You can add them or remove them from the activity. Hunting and foraging results. Okay. Woof, buddy. Summary of what happened to your crew can be seen on the right. Talk to your companions using the speech bubble icon below their portraits. Who's this lady? Hello? Companions heal naturally during camp. The chance of healing. Use medical supplies. They're very valuable. Use them wisely. Say your defensive orders more lenient. Defense has a higher risk of nighttime ambush and a higher negative effect on obedience. Yep, postcards. Definitely postcards. I don't know why you would... I mean... Hey, the reason you don't post guards is because that probably costs you... Yeah, your vigor goes down. But, dog, you post guards. Who's this? Who's this? Morwin? Oh, okay. I didn't mean to, like, get into a whole thing. Yeah, okay. This game's wild. I don't know how long I've been playing it, but... Holy cow. This game is so much. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It is a lot in that if this is the game that you're into, like, you're going to be excited for this game. You know what I mean? You're going to be excited for this. Hell yeah, we found supplies. Great. Yeah, and it looks like we can get events. So yeah, this is where I'm going to leave it because I don't want to spend the rest of the stream playing this. But yeah, this is super interesting. I'm definitely going to play more of this off stream because I'm very interested in this game. I think the only problem is there's like very, very little music. And I think even just some like background music would go a long way. But the voice acting's awesome. Art style's awesome. All of like this is a game that if you're like, I want to get into this and like get some numbers and stuff going, this is baller. Hi sir. Okay, I was about to get up to take the dog out, so yeah, I forgot the name of this game. Yeah, this is Vargus, the Riven Realms prologue. Now available on Steam. Hi.